really wait to see Ryan playing this deck. We have been waiting for this moment for the whole day, actually.
Yeah, and Ryan is definitely a player who we can look forward to enjoy and learn from. Always, even having unconventional plays, I think he's one of those who practiced like the Salamangreat deck and used it in a very unconventional way, focusing and transforming it from a control deck to a OTK deck almost. But now the die roll as well is interesting in this one. I don't think it is as important as other matchups. We could see quite a back and forth game. But I'm mostly curious to see if Herman is right and Ryan has no experience whatsoever against Dragon Maid.
I mean, I expect Ryan to have some knowledge about the deck, although he's not expecting it at all. But right now, okay, he just opened things up with the Pot of Desires, and let's see. Okay, so here comes the Ash Blossom of the Pot of Desires, which is very good.
It doesn't get much better than this from Herman. The Ash Blossom right away, great feeling, especially when you're going second, but he's not a chance again. He has a lot of entraps in the main deck. He's playing Veiler, Nibiru, Ash, Impermanence, and even the only player we've seen today using Phantasmai.
Yeah, I think Phantasmai was very popular back in the day where Salamangreat was very popular, and I think it's very good in the Dragon Maid deck also because you can shuffle back the cards that you don't really need, also because you needs your engine to keep up going. And right now we are seeing the Dogmatica Punishment, which is an incredible game changer for this deck. Also because you can send cards from your extra deck to the graveyard, such as NTSS, and you have incredible options.
It's a really good card. You can get it really easily, and it's a good interaction. It allows you to send a monster from the extra deck, then you destroy something with less attack from your opponent. And by doing that, there are so many good interactions with like the Entity and Tis and Shadow's fusions. So pretty good tool. And as you can see here, not the best opening from Ryan though.
Yeah, also because the deck relies on Fleur-de-Lis, which is a very incredible card for the Dogmatica engine. That it's pretty much an hand trap. And you can special summon when a monster from the extra monster zone is face up. But maybe Herman.
Ooh, wow!
Yeah,
so
incredible.
Unfortunately, Ryan was shut down by the Ash Blossom, but all Herman does is set a face down and pass. This is not something you would expect. Maybe all of those entraps are actually coming back to earth his own strategy. I can't think of anything else because you have so many normal summons in the Dragon Maid deck that it's very rare to see them brick like this.
Yeah, I mean, usually if you see in the very first turns one of your Dragon Maid monster that you can normal summon, after that you can actually able to make your own combos. But at this moment, I think that Herman actually drew a lot of entraps because otherwise we would have seen something.
It's probably the only explanation, and again a slow start from Ryan too, who just attacks and pass. And now we might have a top deck in the form of the Red Eyes, which we have already seen more and more in the Dragon Link. So at the moment, Ryan might think that he's up against a regular Dragon Link.
Yeah, which would be totally understandable from Ryan's point of view because he still doesn't know any other cards that Herman is playing.
Yeah.
But it will get quite of a surprise.
Yeah, absolutely. For now, we might have to wait a little bit longer, but I think it's gonna be pretty obvious in a few moments that this deck is not Dragon Link, but Dragon Maid instead. So
yeah, it's just playing some cards of Dragon Link engine, which are very good anyway because all Dragon Maid are dragons. So why not? I mean, you can also abuse of Red Dice Darkness Dragon. Here it is.
Yeah, as you can see, he is not using the field spell, so only the Striker Dragon as a Link 1, which is quite useful. And now he's gonna special summon Red Darkness Metal Dragon. Is the punishment possibly coming down? It would be difficult to send something bigger than 28, and it seems like it's just gonna push some damage instead. So
yeah, I mean, right now at the moment, doesn't look like Ryhan has something more than the set punishment that he has. Both players just playing with the cards they have, not that much going on, but Herman, I think that it was a really good top deck with
absolutely, one of the best top deck he could have had, and now he's gonna play it just like a grind game. I'm pretty sure Ryhan now is starting to feel like there is something weird going on. There is no way that Dragon Link is gonna set 3 cards to his back row. But at the same time, you cannot really understand what's happening.
On, yeah.
Here we see Herman potentially making a mistake because it's not obvious that Ryhan has a monster higher than 28 in his extra deck. So maybe he could have not used the Red Ice Darkness Metal Dragon.
Oh, this is very good. So he activates the Dragon Maid Tiding. So basically, he can bring back to his hand one of his Dragon Monster, and then he can also bring back one of Ryhan. What?
No. Yeah, my doubt is if we were still in the end phase.
Yeah, I think so. But maybe if that was the one he already had, right?
Yeah, it should.
Or maybe
that's what they are discussing about.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I think Ryhan told him that
was the one he just said. Yeah.
It was just set, so instead Herman understandably is gonna change the card that's being flipped. But it's normal, there is a little bit of a confusion here because Herman thought he had that card already face down on the field.
Yeah, it makes sense
too
because
crazy.
He has 2 copies of it, so not a big matter. They're just discussing it, but
yeah, it shouldn't be anything too complicated, but as I was saying, maybe Herman could have just entirely avoided this by not using the Red Ice effect. That wouldn't have gave his opponent a target, because now if the punishments get to resolve, he can either send Antis and pop both monsters, or he can just try and send the Dogmatica to get some more value for next turn. So maybe a little bit of a play that was too quick from Herman.
okay, and now Tidis in fact is going to be activated, so he brings back one of his Dragon Monster to his hand, and his opponent can bring back one card that is in the graveyard or face up on the field, but it was Herman's decision. So Herman decided to give Ryhan one copy of Pod of Desire back to Ryhan's hand.
Yeah, definitely interesting choice, but this way the punishment is not able to resolve, and it's gonna allow Herman to get some advantage.
Okay, Ryhan here decides to go for another Pod of Desires. Kinda, let's say, I mean, he doesn't have nothing to do with it.
Yeah, kind of a all-in play, but you can't really blame him if he knows that he's not gonna able to clear this board without it. Might as well risk it. But there is a big chance that in those 20 cards there are all of his copies of Invocation, and if that's the case, then his entire invoked engine would be useless. So.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like he was forced to activate these other desires because it doesn't look like he drew very good cards out of his starting hand, and I think things are really looking good for Herman. Also because Ryhan banished 20 cards, which could cost him a lot of resources.
Yeah, the grind game basically solution goes out of the window. We do know that just one Alistair is enough to keep things going, but with this new deck you have a lot of different engines, and usually you can only afford to play 2 copies of Mekaba, so it's not like you can go on forever and ever.
So right now I think Ryhan just wants to have a little bit of explanation of the tiding here that we are showing you guys.
Yeah, because there is another copy face down from Herman, which can absolutely shut down some of Ryhan plays.
I really like the Dragon Maid deck also because, as Herman said, a lot of players don't really know what the deck does. So if you don't really know how to play against it, you can have a lot of troubles. And it's kind of a consistent deck because you can actually use your resources until you finish it, basically. And tiling is really good also because you can banish it from the graveyard to special summon another Dragon Maid monster from the graveyard. And I really like it. So let's see if Ryhan here can come up with a sort of solution.
I gotta say, it's a very, very weird game one, because both of these guys didn't get to play the game how they were supposed to be. It's very rare that you see a Dragon Maid player just have a red eyes on the field with nothing else and trying to win the game by attacking with it. But Herman is trying to do the best he can with the hand he's given, and it's only gonna get better from here, because as you see, Ryhan already used 2 Pot of Desires, and the amount of resources he has access to is very limited now.
And now Herman can activate once again the red eyes effect. Okay, brings back the Black Metal Dragon. It recovers the first Dragon Maid monster, which is Chamber Dragon Maid. He plays 3 copy of it. I mean, the main monsters are of course Chamber and the Parlor, and then the one kitchen. These are the
main normal monster,
yeah, exactly.
The normal summon, let's say, that you want to have in the deck.
And thanks to the Chamber, he can add one spell or trap Dragon Maid card from his deck to the hand. So now things are really looking good for Herman, also because Ryhan doesn't seem to have any kind of response, and here he can add the best spell of the entire deck, which is the Dragon Maid Changeover, that allows you to basically special summon one fusion monster from your extra deck, and this deck abuses of fusion monsters because it has 2 big monsters, which are the Shu and the House Dragon Maid. They're both really good, and if Ryhan doesn't have any other response, I think we will soon see one of them.
Yeah, it's also possible that he gets enough damage to just close the game right here. And you can just see that while Herman is going full speed, we know that Invoked Dogmatica was one of the most expected deck for this weekend. Ryhan has to think a lot about every of his move because he's not used to be playing against Herman's deck. So
it looks like Herman's strategy is paying off. Now he special summoned the Dragon Maid Shell, which is very good also because during the standby phase you can special summon from your graveyard or hand 1 dragon monsters with level 9 or lower. And also he has a quick effect. He can negate an activation of opponent's card, and you bring back it to the extra deck, and you can special summon the House Dragon.
Yeah, the other one. It's quite a loop. In a way, it can remind you guys of like Kanok and all of those interactions with Ritual Beast monsters. Those, of course, being fusions too.
Yeah, what I really like about this deck is that you have infinite resources actually, and now he's using tiling once again to bring back the Chamber. So it's very good because at this moment there's not that much that Ryhan can do. So maybe he has a Fleur de Lis, which could be very good. But on the other hand, looks like Herman is leading this.
Absolutely, and we just said it, how he wants to take everyone by surprise. And I did mention similarities with Ritual Beast, but I gotta say they have similarities even with the Prank Kids, just because of this infinite resources game plan that they try to do.
Wow, this is very good because Ryhan activated Nibiru, Herman activated Shu, and then Ryhan has the impermanence.
You should never count Herman out. The Nibiru plus impermanence is a way to come back from the game, and we can remember how Ryhan in the finals against Matteo also proved us all wrong with drawing such incredible hands with like a Lightning Storm and then Mind Control, and all possible answers for what seems like a game Matteo would have never lost. So
but Herman is not done yet because he has a World Legacy God Dragon. So he's still continuing to combo, although the Nibiru and the Impermanence.
Yeah, Nibiru plus Impermanence was definitely one of the few ways Ryan could have still remained in this. But the World Legacy Guard Dragon, just like we saw in previous matches, incredible tool for any deck that plays dragons right now.
And thanks to the Chambers effect, you can now special summon from the graveyard the Dragon Maid Shell, and he can get rid of the Nibiru.
Yeah, so still has the option to bounce it back and get the Housemaid, which he's probably gonna do now in the standby phase. The first effect is activated, as you were saying, and he gets back one of his Dragon Maids.
I really like Herman's deck. Maybe Ryan, as we said before, was not prepared enough for this matchup, but he did a really good. He really drew a good hand. Indeed, we are going into game 2.
Yeah, so they pick up their cards, and Herman, with his Dragon Maid unique strategy, is 1-up, leading this duo. And we were really confused by the beginning because he just completely bricked with one face down card. The Ash Blossom bought him some time, but he was in the end able to capitalize and basically just relied on the Red Eyes Darkness Metal Dragon for a lot of rounds. And now I gotta give it to Herman, because we take a look at the side decks, but I'm pretty sure Herman is prepared.
Yeah, looks like the most prepared of them is Herman for sure, because he's playing against a matchup that I think he was expecting. And well, by looking at his side deck, I think he will go second anyway, because Ryan wants to put up a good board to deal with Herman's cards. And
it's possible, but yeah, he has just so many good cards, because Lancia is extremely powerful. He shuts down both the Invoked and the Maximus from the Dogmatica. And then he has Kaijus, which are amazing against both Mekaba and Winda. So I really like the side from Herman, while from Ryan, I think he's gonna be confused on what to do, because he has not been playing a lot of this matchup, and his side deck is looking a little shaky. He does have Mystic Mine, which could be decent, but not really amazing in this particular matchup. Maybe he wants to go second, but...
Yeah, I mean, also because if he doesn't know what their opponent's card do that well, he saw that the Tiding bounces back a card, so maybe Mystic Mine, it would be a good move, but I think that is not enough for this match.
Yeah, maybe you just go second, side in Lightning Storm, Pancratops, Red Tribute, which is also really useful, and the Feather Duster, of course. But the problem is you're not playing Dragon Link, you're playing Invoked, which means that OTKing, although it's possible, is like quite rare. You need a very specific set of hand where you're able to go through all of your Dogmatica engine alongside the Fusion, maybe a Purgatrio, and try an OTK like that. But outside of this scenario, I think Herman has a pretty good lead going into this game 2. Who is gonna take it? We'll soon find out, and whoever of these guys wins is gonna advance and face against Zoe Weber tomorrow. Yeah.
We wish you.
Yeah.
We wish you won.
Yeah, no. I got it for a moment, but oops. Never mind. It's Zulu who actually won in the end, so he's probably gonna follow this match with a lot of attention. And if Herman was to win this match, I think Zulu might be one of the few people who actually prepared for the Dragon Maid deck. So that could be an interesting one. But for now, let's stay focused to the present. This is the ideal opening of the deck, where you actually send the Shadow Core to the graveyard, so that you can get this Seism from the deck, which allows you to then Fusion Summon for a Winda during your opponent's turn.
Yeah, now it's very good because Ryan started things off with Nadir's Servant, which we saw for the first time during this weekend. Okay, here comes the Maximus, and Herman responded with an Effect Veiler.
Yeah, effect failure on Maximus, slowing down. But at the same time, Ryhan opening was quite convincing, so I don't think this is gonna be enough right away. But the maximum being stopped does change quite a few things. Extravagance also coming down from Herman. His extra deck is extremely consistent. He has a lot of free offs, which any other Dragon Link deck would not be able to do. But since he is not comboing off that much, but just having like a +1, a +2, and then basically having a controlled deck, he's playing Extravagance with a little bit of a risk, of course.
Yeah, I mean, he's playing multiple copies. He's playing the 3 offs of the boss monsters in his extra deck, so
yeah,
it could be kind of risky, but I think it's worth it. So
absolutely, I agree with his decision, and he does need the extra cards because he's playing. He's the one who is playing, or at least maining, the most entraps today. So when you're playing that many entraps, you do need the cards. So you usually see Desires or Extravagance. Again, the red dice comes down. One of the best normal summons in any Dragon deck at the moment.
And now he's going to make the standard combo with Striker Dragon, searching for the field spell. Yeah. Also, I've seen some people playing also the field spell because it's really good if you have also the Phantasmi, which Herman is playing, and you can shuffle back 1 free card. Let's see if he plays it, or he doesn't want to see bad cards. No, he's not playing it. Okay.
Yeah, I agree with him, but it seems like an unnecessary risk to run the card, especially when you want to play around the draw and lock.
And we see for the first time,
but now
prison.
Yeah, there is a little bit of a mind game from Ryhan. We all thought that he was gonna set the Shadow Trap. Instead, he added it to his hand, but then he set Ice Dragon Prison. So really a big mind game here from Ryhan. Dragon's Prison, really interesting card. You can basically use it very well against the deck that relies on one specific archetype, like Sky Strikers or any Dragon deck. So let's see if Herman can fully recover from it.
Okay, now Herman brought the Perler from his deck, and looks like it's still not done yet. So he actually sent to the graveyard the Dragomate Lorpar. He actually plays the 2 big monsters of Dragomate, which are Lorpar and Ernus.
Yeah, both. He's playing pretty much outside of the Chamber and the Perler, which are mandatory free offs. He has all of the other Dragomates in 1 offs, so that when necessary and depending on the situation on the field, he can choose which one is the most appropriate to come down. And you can really see Herman spending a lot of time playtesting this deck. He built it completely from scratch, and I gotta say he's becoming quickly not only a chat and fan favorite, but also really getting the support from us. I always enjoy watching a player who is doing something unconventional. So I am right now on the hype train, let's say, following Herman.
Yeah, we have to give credit to him for having brought this deck to us this weekend, and it's incredibly good because once again, Perry counts Dragomate Shell, and it causes a lot of problems, and not only because he's an incredible monster, but once he comes back into the extra deck, it brings the other fusion monster that the Dragomate plays, which is the House Dragomate. So it's really good.
Yeah, a lot of resources again. The cycle begins yet one more from Herman, and I'm struggling to see a way out of this from Ryhan right now. He needs to have some kind of response, and as we are gonna show you guys on screen, this is not the only fusion that Dragomate's deck have. Sometimes you can actually bring back the shell and get the House of Dragomate out of your extra deck. We might get to see this later on during this match, but for now he's on the Dragon seat. So
Yeah, not that much that Ryan can do at the moment. I mean, very well played by Herman, and now it comes the meltdown.
Okay, meltdown comes down differently from game one. No pot of desires, so we are gonna get to see some invoked action as well. Alistair is gonna be added, and let's remember everyone that the Dogmatica cards have a pretty strict restriction. By the moment you use one of them, you cannot access your extra deck for the rest of the turn, which is why we don't even have a choice here from Ryan. He needs to use his links and invoked before using, for example, the Maximus.
And right now we are seeing for the first time this weekend the Invoke deck being played, and Invocation was added from Ryan's deck to the hand. And there comes the Almirage.
Yeah, it goes up for the Garna. Usual combos here. Unless there is a light monster available, this is what you usually go for, even going first with the Invoke deck nowadays. Let's see if there is a response though from Herman when this Invocation comes down. Okay, so Invocation finally coming down for the first time in this match. It has been 27 minutes already, and it's quite rare that we get to see the first Invocation after that much, but Effect Veiler is gonna be banished from Herman's grave.
And let's see now what it is. I think, yeah, it goes for Mekaba.
Yeah. Mekaba comes down. There is an option also to go for the Purgatrio later on and try to push a lot more damage, but it is starting to look like a game of chess here, where they both don't want to give up too many informations and give away those to their opponents. But once Ryan says that he is enough with his extra deck, for example, the Maximus can now activate his effect.
So I think that now Ryan has a chance to come back into this game. He needs to deal with Herman's board. He has a lot of things going on. But this is going to be a really tough one. So, okay, so he reveals the Fleur-de-Lis from his hand, and it's going to be special summon on his side of the field.
Yeah, he's gonna try and probably negate his opponent Dragon Maid Fusion. Would make the most sense to me. And in... Okay, let's take a look. So, just like last game, the tidy is flipped. Is he gonna have a trap in his hand for Mekaba? That could also be an option. I don't think that's possible. Yeah,
indeed he doesn't.
So this is a nice play. He spins back the card to his opponent deck, then he chains the fusion effect as well, so now that he can bring out one more, even if the Dogmatica is summoned. There is no other Dogmatica cards on the field, yeah. And you need to have a Dogmatica card outside of itself to be able to negate. So very clean play here from Herman, knowing his opponent deck really well. And just like we predicted, he did the trick with his own fusions. Nice. So
yeah, he was able to deal with Ryan's combo, and at this moment I expect Ryan... Okay, so he has another Nadir Servant, which could be very good.
Okay, so now we can potentially send Entis, yeah, the entity, to the graveyard, which is gonna allow him to destroy one card from Herman. And do you think he should... Yeah, he's probably gonna aim it at the fusion, right?
Yeah.
Trying to destroy that.
Yeah, he's going to try to destroy it. Let's see if he's...
Okay, oh, but the Impermanence is flip face up. But, okay, no, I was scared for a moment that there was...
the same zone?
Yeah, they were in the same zone. Of course, this is one of the most complicated interactions to try and figure out, but luckily for us, Konami sent all of these players the remote duel playmats that you are watching right now on the screen, which are making our life much easier since we can just judge by looking at them whether they're using the same zones or not. So
Yeah, you gotta pass us a lot. So here Ryan has access to the Ecclesia, and then he searches for punishment.
So once again, trying to get back into the game. No more extra deck for the rest of the turn, but still a lot of advantage. And I think Herman just has seen enough, yeah?
Yeah.
So this time, I am pretty sure both players were paying extreme attention to the clock, because this game was far from over. We still could have seen a little bit of a grind game, but Herman knew that he was gonna take some damage. So he just picked up his cards because he wants to be the one who decides how game 3 is gonna go. So it's 1-1. Who is gonna advance to the top 8? Is it gonna be Herman and his unique Dragon Maid deck? Or is it gonna Ryan and his invoked dogmatic deck? We are gonna find out quite soon, so don't leave, because there are only 9 minutes left in the round, and I'm pretty sure once they're done, it is gonna be a quick one to decide who is gonna take it and advance to the HU.
And yeah, as you said before, when Ryan plays, you never really know what's going to happen. Like, he was able to come back into a really tough game, because Herman had a lot of things going on. He had 2 traps, he had the fusion, and so, I mean, well played by Ryan. And right now, I think Herman knows what is going to happen, because I think he has played against this matchup a lot. Maybe Ryan understood how his opponent decks works, and maybe he can figure out something cool for this game 3. So this game, I think, is going to be very interesting, because Ryan maybe is the first time facing this deck, and
yeah, I mean, this is interesting for everyone here watching at home, and I think Zulu especially, who is gonna be the opponent of whoever wins here, has to be paying a lot of attention. I'm probably sure that Herman wishes he would have won 2-0 quick and fast, not only to advance to the top 8, of course, but to prevent additional information from his deck being shown. The more you play the deck, the more everyone at home is going to be comfortable with it. And compared to a YCS where you just go back and forth round by round, Zulu is going to have an entire day to prepare for the deck and just get more infos on it, potentially even testing it out himself. So yeah. Let's see who is gonna do it. I'm pretty sure Herman is still gonna go first. There is a little chance that he picks second just because of the nature of his side deck, but I do think it makes the most sense for this deck to start. So
yeah, I think Herman now really needs to shape things up on his own, and maybe he can pick up a good hand. So let's see. He proved out that the Dragon Maid is a really good deck, really powerful, and by playing it with the red dice cards as well, and we really like it.
Yeah, let's see if he's gonna open once again with the red eyes. The ends are being drawn right now. In game 1 we had a break. In game 2 more of a back and forth, but in the end it was Ryan to take it. Herman should be the one opening here, but we have only about 6 minutes left. Okay, for the first time with this we had Dragon Maid as the normal summon from Herman.
Okay, so he's the Norse, and one set card from Herman.
Is it really gonna be all from him? Wow. Once again, a weak opening from Herman. We really want to believe that his deck is viable, but this is not making our life easy. Alistair comes down from Ryan. The best way to do it for this deck is, as we saw, the Dogmatic has have restrictions, so the first thing you want to do is Alistair, and then the rest of your combos. We're probably now gonna see the Salamangreat plus the Gardener.
Yeah, I think Ryan should pass for the Almirage. Let's see what he does. Yeah, I think so.
So Salamangreat Almirage comes down, followed by Secure Gardener, which is quite an interesting tool. A card overlooked by a lot of people, but it's already the second deck of the day that completely relies on it. First we saw Dinosaur, and now Ooh, Artifact Lancia coming down from Herman could actually be a game changer here.
Yeah, this is the first time we see Artifact Lancia being played by one of our players. Oh, and he also has the tiling, yeah, which is totally understandable because otherwise he would have not summoned the nurse.
Yeah.
Here is not easy because if Ryan doesn't have any other cards, maybe he could have some Dogmatica cards in his hand. If he does not, oh, he has the triple tactics talent.
Yeah, so triple tactic talent comes down, allowing, and this is just showing how good this card is. Not only is it good if your opponent has a board and is trying to just dominate the field, because in that case you can use the change of heart effect, but this time he's gonna get to see Herman entire hand. He did have an Ash Blossom.
He has the fusion spell and the nurse.
Yeah, and the nurse, which was spin back.
Okay, so he shuffles back the.
So the fusion is back into the deck. So now all Herman has is the Ash Blossom and the nurse. Are you surprised at all that he didn't use the Ash Blossom on the Alistair? Or I mean, it doesn't really matter since he had the Lancia. Exactly, so I think it makes sense.
We also has the Nadir Servant.
Wow!
Okay.
Wow! Oh, wow! Gamma comes down. Wow. Unbelievable series
you can
of
never
events.
know with Ryan.
Wow! I mean, yeah, you can never count Ryan out, and this is absolutely incredible from him. We were all surprised, but I think once you saw that he gave his opponent the Ash Blossom, you could probably see that he had the Gamma, but now this changes everything, especially because with the Lancia on the field, those Psy frames are not going to be banished during the end phase. So even if he was to not use them, he can safely keep them on the field. But I'm pretty sure, because now with the Nadir Servant, they would be banished since he cannot access his extra deck. He doesn't have to worry about that because of Lancia. So
yeah, and Herman is only left with a nurse in his hand, which is, I mean, Ryan had the nuts. I would say he had an incredible hand, triple tactic talent, Gamma, Nadir Servant. I mean, you couldn't ask for more. So here is going to continue to showcase us what the deck does. And here comes the Ecclesia. He searches for the punishment, and
yeah, it seems like he's quite in control of the situation at the moment. As we were saying, I hope they both recognize that the Psy frames are not gonna be banished by the Lancia.
And Ryan here is looking at a very good spot. Not that much that Herman can do at the moment. Yeah, he normal summons the nurse.
Yeah, as you can see, nurse comes down. Gonna try his best to have an answer, but it's looking tough once more. So Striker Dragon, but he doesn't have the field spell in the deck. He top decks
the Hospitality, if I'm not mistaken, so he can bring back the nurse from the graveyard.
It seems so. So definitely a decent draw. There could have been a lot of draws in Herman decks that were just game winning for Ryan. One of the few cards which he can hope to get there together. So let's see if Ryan can still pull this off. He has one more turn to, let's say, resist from Herman. Otherwise, I think the game is gonna go his way. But we need to pay attention to the clock. There is only 1 minute remaining and 3,500 life points of difference. Can Herman find a way to deal this damage, or is it gonna be game for Ryan? He really needs to hurry up. Not much time is left. We have seen this multiple times. I have in my memory the match between Jake Quincy and Joshua Smith at the European Championship, which was crazy speed, and in the end it was Quincy who won the match because of this. But now, is it ever gonna be enough? I really doubt it. Let's see if he can play fast enough. Only 30 seconds. He make the erratic spheres, and I think this is gonna be way game for Ryan. Unfortunately, it seems like Herman is gonna be reversed swept. He showed us that his deck is really good, but Unless there is some extra time we are not informed of, I'm pretty sure Ryhan can just even enter battle phase, try to attack over his opponent, even top decks the meltdown. I don't think we can have much of a difference. Herman tries his best, put the meltdown back so that he can activate a second copy, but I think time is gonna be called just in a few seconds, declaring Ryhan the winner. Yeah, absolutely. Time is called, and Ryhan takes it home. He reverse sweeps Herman's unique Dragon Maid deck, and unfortunately he is out of the competition. As you can see on screen, he takes the game 2-1, and he's gonna advance to day 2, where he is gonna face against Zulu. For now, let's go back to us.